Welcome, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and we get some of our ambience when we use it through TabletopAudio and Syrinscape. I'm going to bring Shannon in, as per usual, to talk a little about our partners in the world and announcements.
In the world.
Yeah. What's the state of the world right now, Shannon?
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's been like that for quite some time now, so yeah. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome.
Cheery intro.
Bleak way to bleak way to start the but yes, I am going to talk about our partners. Yes, I was getting there.
We have
floor is yours.
Do you want to do it?
No. I don't have it open.
I can send it to you.
Nope, go for it.
Because we have the technology. All right, so I'm going to start with Arcane Spectacles. Get a personalized Nope, I'm going to start that over. Get a personalized touch for your home with Arcane Spectacles Christmas ornaments. They are customizable with party members and DM's names. And they are the perfect teacher. I don't know. Wow, I am just. These are the ornaments. You can get them customized. This one is our party from last campaign. I don't know why Q's at the top, but Sean should be at the top.
This was the leader of the party.
I was the main character. This is Kieran talking. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I on there?
This is, you are. Yes. Yes, you are right there. Nope, that's Scarlet. You're right there.
Nope, well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
There's Cal.
Or you can get your own. I made one with some of my gals, some of my girls, but I need to update it because Saskia's not on here. I realized that, damn it, a lot of them don't beat good. You get the idea. You can customize them in any way that you'd like, and they're fabulous, and they're don't have to just be on a tree. They can be placed anywhere in your home, so you can look at them and feel nerd happiness whenever you look at them. Visit them now at arcanespectacles.com and add magic to your home all year long. Next is Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling Emmy-nominated TTRPG publisher building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre that you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all of the rules that you need to play. Their current focus is Harrow the Blighted Plain, a crystal punk fantasy setting filled with fungal oases, massive sand seas, and what are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm laughing at Mike didn't mute his mic when he walked away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. For as little as $3, I hope he doesn't burp, you can join their Patreon and help shape Harrow in each of the... Mike! You're killing me. Mute your mic!
I'm right here.
Every week!
Continue.
I don't even know where I left off from that. I'm going to read
Every
that
week.
last sentence over.
Something the Blighted Plain.
Yep. For as little as $3, you can join Underground. Or was that you? You can join the Patreon and their Discord and support all the awesome things that they do. Moving on. Eddie Yorke is our character artist. He is an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. You saw the art that he did for us on our Starting Soon screen. You will see the art of our characters rotating on our panels as we play. And Eddie's just fabulous. He's an illustrator based in the UK. Did I say this already? He makes art for games and books. I think I did, but it's okay. I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. Next and last but not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean here uses their NPC cards in our games. There they are. They have a lovely art on the front and stuff on the back. What stuff's on the back, Sean? You're muted.
You have their personality, a quirk, some flaws, goals, and secrets.
Ooh, secrets. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So if you want to pick them up, yourself or buy any of their other amazing accessories, you can use the code ParadiceProd for 10% off your entire order. Join us on Discord if you haven't already. We've got recaps there that Sean writes for us every week that recap the previous session, so it's an easy way to catch up. You can also catch up on our YouTube channel. The VODs are posted weekly. Yep, they are. I forgot what I was going to say. If you'd like to sponsor an episode or two of Adrift in Aldhalor, shoot us an email at paradiserpg@gmail.com and join us not only here on Twitch and YouTube, but also on Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok. That's it. Thank you, Steph, for putting the links in chat.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Can I come back now?
You
Only if
can
you're not gonna
officially
burp.
come back.
Or chew into the microphone. Oh, you got fucking chips.
Ooh, are those from those look like they're from a place I like. There it is. There it is, everybody.
From the way you two are on my Discord, you were both leaning into each other, and it looks like Alex was going to eat the chips.
Wait, we're going opposite sides, no?
No.
No.
At least it might look like it's you, but it looks
Discord,
like you're going.
it's different
Yeah.
on stream.
Here, do it again, and I'll screenshot it for you.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
So
Just
beautiful.
beautiful.
All right, let's play.
Okay. What are we playing?
Just some game. We just kind of just showed
Stadium.
Diablo 4.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Uh-oh, recaps on the screen.
up. Oh, recaps.
Is it because I didn't turn off the battle cam? Yep.
I don't
It
know.
is. No, I know exactly why it is. It's because
Yeah.
the battle cam is just up. That's why. Because I never reset it.
Uh-oh.
Everyone shush for a moment. There we go.
We're real
It's a very
professional here,
delicate
folks.
ecosystem here that I have
Yeah.
to keep things where they need to be and for the stream to work. So, all right. God, everything is broken. Where's... There it is.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
You're doing great, Sean.
I'm crushing it.
Crushing it.
What's happening?
Last we met in the countryside of Reykjavik in Asia. On the 17th morning, or really afternoon at this point, of Septim, the forest dawn. I can see you squinting. Is it not the 17th?
I thought it was the 16th.
It's definitely the 16th. We're still on the 16th. I know, it's been a few sessions, but... It is still a Tears dog.
Yes. In the month of Maravala.
1326. In the year of our Lord,
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
We gotta
that's
get
right.
back for Wensdog. That's all that matters.
I love that all Fearn cares about is getting back to Hyven for Vensdog.
For fight night.
Yeah! Oh my
Wait,
god.
I think 16th is a Mondag. It's not Tuesday.
God.
No, 15th.
No.
I love everything about this argument over what day it is.
It is.
All right.
I have written it down every single
We
at the
play
beginning of
every
every
Monday.
single one of my
Bye.
notes. Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
you know what? You know where I
Guess
messed up?
who is the best
The reason why I put
taker?
17th is because you guys, it was when I put 16th in and the recap for episode 15, it was past midnight at that point, or something like that.
Mhm. Yes.
Wait, it's past midnight.
Yeah, because you guys were.
Wow, that oh shit basically just means Shannon admitted that I'm the better note taker.
No.
You heard it here first, folks.
No. You're not the better note taker. What the flying fuck?
Well, I can rest easy knowing that I figured out where my error happened.
Well, I need to find mine now, so carry
So
on.
it's the 16th afternoon of Septim, Forest Dawn.
Maravala, thank you
on
very
on a
much.
Tears dog. Yes, that's right, Siberian. Every time you laugh at the DM, the number of dice rolled goes up, never down. Anyway, let's actually recap. So, our heroes rested before their attempt to save their friend Jacquette, who has been captured by the bandits of Reykjavik. Bruce and Septimus discussed using the different elemental gems the party has procured. They learned that the elemental captured in the Emerald during the pseudo-exorcism they did upon Davin is a fledgling storm elemental and could be put to use. But ultimately, they decided to use the ever-flowing water elemental mine they took from Sindel. And once they've agreed upon this, they then explained the plan to Theron and Sass. They would sneak up as close to the farmhouse hideout as they could. Then Sass would go invisible and infiltrate the ever-flowing mine, infiltrate the farmhouse to place the ever-flowing mine. The intent to find Jacquette. I really messed up the sentence here in the recap. It would go invisible and infiltrate the farmhouse with the intent to find Jacquette, plant the mine to flood it, and escape. Theron would keep an eye out on the exterior, and Bruce and Septimus would set traps along the path of escape to slow any pursuers down. With only a few small exceptions, the plan went off incredibly well, truthfully. Sass was able to infiltrate, bypass any traps or illusions, and find Jacquette. But he refused to leave without his stuff, so he made a holler to get the bandits to open the door to the next room. Then Sass could sneak in invisibly and retrieve his stuff. While inside, she also opted to listen in on the meeting taking place. She saw who she could presume were the leaders of the bandits: Bardly, a portly bandit from the road, and an unnamed dragonborn with wings. The two leaders spoke with a shady half-orc figure named Dalen. They argued over the operation in Billowgrass and a need for more resources. The half-orc nearly saw through Sass's invisibility, but she narrowly escaped while setting the ever-flowing water mine. Upon returning to Jacquette, he told her to go ahead and he would catch up. He needed to take back one more item, his custom dagger sheath still held by the bounty hunter that caught him. He rushed into the meeting room, kicked the bounty hunter, sleight-of-handed his sheath from him, and shouted to the room, "That's why you don't fuck with Jacquette." He then fled. Yes, as Stefan is pantomiming, he did flip them off too, I believe. He and Sass killed a shadow creature that was guarding the exit and knocked the guard above unconscious after Jacquette cut a J in his shirt, Zorro style. They met up with Theron and ran away. The bandits followed closely behind, but the party was able to escape as Bruce's traps began slowing the bandits' pursuit. The party reunited back on the road as a loud concussive noise shook the ground, and then a small geyser of water launched through the roof of the ruined farmhouse. The plan had succeeded, and they wasted no time before rushing back up the road towards Billowgrass. And Bruce also stole some quartz eyes out of the statue by the edge of the road. So, the party is running now. You are along the road. I imagine you would just keep going until eventually you would start to slow down as you have to catch your breath. Behind you, seemingly, they have not kept up with you. They have not continued following. It seems as if the explosion of the water mine potentially may have drew their attention away from you. You can't necessarily presume 100% that you are safe, but I'll say that you're about a half hour or so up the road at this point, far enough where you can no longer see any bandits. You can no longer see the field where the house was. Really, I'd say you're getting close to where the shrine was, where Jacquette was captured.
Jacquette, hold on. That's probably good enough. All right.
Oh, we should probably keep moving until we're at the farmhouse at least, so we have some bit of cover, so we can't get ambushed.
All right, let's keep going.
I think that's the smartest thing to do.
Bruce, do you want
You
to
can take a
trade?
breather. You can take a breather if you need to.
Here, I climbed down from Sal because I had climbed up on top of him last time and he was running. So, Bruce, you.
Oh, thank you. I'll need that. Hey, come here, Sal. Come here. Thank you.
Sal picks you up like a child, puts you on his back.
I look T-pose.
Yeah, uppies.
We should hurry because we're all quite exhausted in the house. So give us some sort of reprieve.
Wouldn't they suspect that we would go there though? Or maybe 2 of them. I don't know if they saw your guys' faces or
Probably
Fearon's face, I should say specifically.
We just need to get there, and then we can figure out what to do. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Just so we can't get ambushed on the road.
Are we going back to
The farmhouse.
Aura's house? I guess. All right.
Yeah, you would go to Taurus' house, and easily enough, you would find that, yes, they had followed your instructions, and they did flee. They did lock the place up, though, before they left. As you get to the front door, and it is locked. Now, there is a barn nearby that you could also hide in. A little bit further up into the farm, there is a big red barn.
There, I'd rather not break into their place unwanted.
As he's saying this, Shockwet is going to the door with his thieves' tools and just quickly takes them back and goes,
Yes, that's probably the polite thing to do. Yes.
It's like, we're trying to help these people, Jacquet.
Help ourselves to their goods. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's good.
I imagine Jacquet has like a really cool set of like thieves' tools that like almost like come out like
They
a
flip
switchblade.
out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, do they know they caught you, right, Chiquette? Like, do they know where we're going? They probably would check here first, right?
That is a strong word. I let myself be captured so that I could work from the inside to learn
You
more.
Fucking did. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Can we get to the barn?
So,
first?
again, just so we can just talk about what we need to do and just a quick rest. No, we're not
So
deciding whether or not we're
as-
staying here the night.
As we're going to the barn and as we're walking in, Jacquet's like,
Yes, there was a bounty hunter. The big lad, Sass, that you saw move through the door, who was well aware of you 3, he says, gesturing to Fearn, Septimus, and Bruce. You 3 interfering with their work, I guess. And I didn't realize he had seen you, and I was just, trying to make small talk on the road, and I guess mentioning that I'd come in the previous night led him to believe that we were in cahoots, as it were.
So, what did you learn?
I learned that they're a bunch of bandits who mean no good.
What else did you learn if you were in there on the inside, Mr. I let myself be captured?
Anyone in the mood for beef?
So whoever's the first one to step into the farm would just see a very scared cow.
Yes, but I don't think it would be polite to kill the cow without permission.
Anyways, I was still waiting. I was, trying to regain myself. The bastard did hit me in the back of the head again, so I think I have some actual concussive injuries that might need to be seen to when we get back to town.
You poor fucking fellow.
I know, thank you.
So how many did you count that you knew were there?
A handful, maybe 2, 3, depending on how many appendages you have, he says, looking pointedly at Septimus.
Sass, you would have heard them say that they have just over a dozen bandits in their crew.
Little less than a handful. It's just about a dozen. Maybe a little bit more.
Did you get a good look at any of them?
Yes, actually, I did.
Did they look, I guess...
Do you remember
fearsome?
that fucker that was on the road on our way in? The round-faced guy with the cane?
He was
Yeah.
there?
Yes, he was there. As was who else was there? There was a half-orc that was there as well. And a dragonborn.
Did was that one with the glasses? Was he leading them?
It seemed like it. It seemed like it. He was talking authoritatively on behalf of the bandit gang. So in his conversations with the half-orc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, presumably from your perspective, Sass, it would have looked like the Dragonborn and Bardly were the leaders. And then anyone else you saw would have been kind of just sort of their muscle or whoever's part of it. You really only saw, like, if you're thinking about it overall, you saw one bandit in guarding the upper floor. You, from listening to him, you presumed that there was a lookout in the forest line like the last time you were there. You saw Bardly, you saw the Dragonborn, you saw Dalen. There were 2 guards in that room who were just sort of, in your perspective, general bandits. One of them actually, I didn't mention it last week, but one of them would have been the big guy from the house. So, like, you've seen, like, I'd say, like, 5 or 6 of their actual faces. And then actually probably more than that, because they're then the bandits in the forest. You know that you and Jacquet have, at the very least, killed 2 of them. And wounded to the point of not being combat viable 2 more. So you, when you sliced the calf of the last lookout, and Jacquet when he knocked the other guy unconscious with the J. So if they said that there were 12 to 15 of them, with their words, you've at least taken out 4 of their total crew.
Okay.
2 fatally and 2
2
non-fatally.
Non-lethally. Yep. I relay all of that in my accent to all of you.
Right, so 2 for you, 2 for Chiquette, and I'll take the 4 left.
You could be getting ahead of yourself because, again, still new to fighting. Did they look like they had some prowess in that regard?
Some prowess.
Could fight. Did they look strong?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they look intimidating? Okay.
Yeah.
So there
absolutely.
we go.
Yeah. I don't think we should leave until we know that's they're taken care of, or they're not going to be a bother.
I worry for the numbers that's stacked against us.
And
If you fight, it'll be equal. Enough.
what about their supposed drug operation? Were they brewing this drug?
There was some sort of solution in there, a pool of solution that seemed to be what they were giving out, but
And I'll remind you, the crystals seem to be growing in that pool of solution.
The crystals.
so the solution wasn't what they were giving people.
Correct. Yeah. For Sass, I guess you could just describe to them that you saw a shallow pool that had a elemental like glow to it, that had when it actually was running out of, it was very low, the water in it, and there were these crystals kind of growing, almost like salt calcifying on the side of something.
So then would I know that they like need the solution to grow the crystals?
From the conversation, you could easily presume that.
All right. I relay all of that in my accent.
And those crystals, you presume, are the drug.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. A lot of you could easily put all that together. Like you 3 have seen it, and they have more information. This is the point when you can all kind of like flow all of your information into
together. Yeah, yeah. So the leader with the glasses said that they were running out of solution, which means that, and they needed more money. Solution. They needed, in order for the operation to continue, they needed more supplies. But we just fucked them over pretty well. So,
did they specify what kind of supplies?
Solution. They said they needed more solution.
Okay.
Whatever sort of.
They also said that they needed more solution, more protection. They needed like weapons and protection in order to expand.
So the reason why I ask is they are going to have to go to someone specific as a contact. I was just trying to understand who that might be. I don't know the area too well.
An employer is all they were saying.
It seems like that there was one person visiting there that was their contact. The man in the dark robes that you mentioned. He seemed to be outside of the group. Or the immediate group, at least. Obviously, they're working together, but it seemed that he was there visiting for whatever meeting.
For the employer.
On his behalf, so.
Right.
And do we have a good...
In the meantime, Sal, just keep watch outside the door. Don't want to get ambushed while we're discussing all this.
He gives you a thumbs up as best he can with his 3 fingers, and walks outside.
So, to Fear's point, I don't think we should stay here for the night. It's try to collect our thoughts a bit. We should at least go back into town, or we'd be maybe safe for the night, because from the damage that was dealt to their hideout, that'll probably be their immediate focus. And I don't imagine they'd be so brazen to reveal themselves and because it sounds like they want to be discreet. They want to supply the townspeople with their drugs, and if they come out so brazenly and start attacking, then that messes up whatever they're trying to get out of this, which I'm not quite sure yet.
But the other side of that is they know that we know, and we can go running off to town and tell everyone and blow their fucking cover. So they could go either way.
Also true.
If
I
we
still think should set
tell
up a watch.
if we tell the town what they're doing and what we've done, the townspeople might rally and help us, but that might not be a good thing. If they have more scouts, then maybe they will notice that threat and turn tail and do the same thing somewhere else where we can't find them.
I think
We need some sort of way to lure out the leaders.
Could be as simple as just standing in the middle of the town and shouting at the top of our lungs, "Give it up! We know! Come and get us!" I don't know.
I mean, another a point of that we could snip at the neck. Is their source. If we cut off their source, they got nothing. So I don't know if you guys got a good
Right.
right. But like, did we actually get rid of him, or do we know if he's still alive?
Oh,
There's a lot of questions right now about their.
I thought you meant the crystals.
No, I'm talking about
the contact.
The contact. Yeah.
Fair point.
We haven't really deciphered what that face was that Davin was dreaming about, or the mention of some sort of magical person, a wizard up in the northeast hills. Maybe that was the bandit encampment, but maybe if we head further northeast, we could possibly discover a source. I think that the only way we're really going to find out for sure is if we get our hands on the people responsible.
I agree.
We have a lot of information to process right now, and we're lucky to have just gotten Jaquette back.
And speaking of
just kind of leaning against like something, just like kind of quiet, like his eyes a little closed as he's recovering a little.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Infiltrator? Emphasis on.
Great work, everybody. I'm very proud of you all. You worked so fantastically without my leadership. I could not be prouder of you all.
You are a fucking asshole.
Asshole or not. And he just kind of like smiles a little.
How do you not care? How do you not care that you killed someone?
No proof I killed anyone.
I was covered in their blood. I still am.
Yeah, trust me, honey. I've been covered in blood a lot of times. It does not always mean someone is dead.
No, you killed them. You definitely did. And you're gonna.
Would you two quit bickering?
Doctor,
I say we should at least get back into town, rest at the inn for the night, and first thing tomorrow, I think it'd be wise to talk to the Ornamencer about all this. I'm not quite sure if he's the exact leader of this town, but spiritually he's revered and the people respect him, and he might know what to do or what resources we can have if we're going to stay. Or I don't know what the population of this town is anymore, but maybe they'll decide to have him leave. I'm not sure, but I think that is our best course of action right now, at least.
Do you think it's advantageous to go in disguised?
It would probably be better if.
Do you think
he's a spiritual leader, right? If we bring one of the townspeople with us.
No, I think
Maybe it shows our-
he's implying that he may be working with these bandits.
Right.
I guess we don't know what he looks like.
No.
Either way, we need to get back to town, and I think we should set up a watch for this evening, just in case they decide to use the night.
Are we all sleeping in the same room?
I'm
Well,
sleeping outside.
They decided not to get rooms and stay in the carriage, and you and I got rooms. Remember?
Right. I'm just wondering if you're having a sleepover. That's all.
All right. Well, we'll get out of your hair. Looking towards the cow, who's still just like.
The cow's gotten used to you now and is just sort of chewing the cud and just like.
Right.
That's what I call a dialogue.
Takes a big shit in the ground.
Disgusting.
Septimus would start heading out. Like, Sal, come on, we're heading back to town.
Okay. All right. So you're heading straight back to town?
Yes.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
I should make a basket for Sal. For me. On Sal.
A bird
Not a
bone
bad
basket.
idea. Not
A
a bad
bag.
idea.
A
A
Cole
little
Bjorn.
backpack,
A
you know?
Kobo Bjorn.
A Kobo Bjorn.
Or it could also be in the front, like a little baby sack, you know.
Baby sack.
So.
Oh yeah.
So you all head back to town. It doesn't take you too long to get back there. It's about an hour or so. You approach, and
Was an hour out of town.
The farmhouse is an hour out of town.
Oh damn. I don't...
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't pay attention when you say things, Sean. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, if you were like running, I guess you can get there before.
No.
Yeah, it's like 3 or so miles out of town, so walking speed it'll take like an hour.
Yeah.
You are able to. Second, there we go. You approach town, and everything looks as it did yesterday when you approached it, or this morning for some of you. You've got the 2 buildings on the eastern road that then lead over to the kind of central crossroad where you have the cluster of buildings. You can see it across the Windy Mercado, and you can also see obviously up the hill towards the Onomancer's cottage where you can still see those kites flying all above. As you get to sort of like the middle of the town, again, much like the last time you were here, ghost town. There are smokestacks coming out of some of the houses, but like generally people seem to be staying completely off the streets. And you would step into the central sort of crossroad square where you would see kind of like on strings, kind of wind blowing and keeping it kind of stuck on this well that's in the middle of town. You can see just sort of like this long white rope at the end tied a kite that is kind of mangled. The same kite that you would have seen ripped off of the cottage the night prior. But you are back in town. Yes.
What's the kite look like?
Yeah, so the kite, when you look at it, at first it looks, you have to kind of like, if you want, you can like pick it up because it's kind of all mangled up, so it's hard to see what kind of like shape it is. It's a pretty complicated kite. But when you look at it closer, you can see it kind of has like a long tail, kind of like a dragon kite, if you've ever seen one of those. Except instead of it being like sort of a dragon's head on there, it looks more like less anthropomorphic, less creature-like, and more like it's supposed to look like a cloud of some kind. Billowing parts of it look like, if they fly correctly, they might look like a trail of lightning bolts coming off of a cloud-like body. But very clearly, there's then a long strip, like long triangular strip that comes off of the end that you would see a name sewn into.
In the name?
The name is Brondir.
Looking at the kite, Jacquet, did you guys disclose all the information about what you learned at the
Yes.
farm? And Jacquet goes, now, I'm no expert, but given everything that you all have told me, this seems like a foreshadowing, I think they call it in the stories, right? So when we were heading to the farm, it snapped off, right? Kind of signifying that like something bad was going to happen to this individual. But now it's here, but it's a little mangled, so it makes me think that, you know, something is wrong. Does that make sense? And he's kind of like looking at everyone, like while he's holding it.
Like Charlie
You know?
Day in the mailroom.
Yeah, a little bit.
Loveless, I thought you didn't believe in the spirits. What is all this about seeing the
No,
future?
not spirits. It's about the stories. See, that's where it all comes together in the stories. So where there's a story, this Brondir character would be our Davin. But since it's not, you know, I guess it's just all, and he just kind of throws the kite away and starts walking back towards the inn.
Yeah, you can see the kite immediately just like falls right into the well. I would remind probably the only people who know this would be Sass and Fearn, that the names given to them are not their everyday names. But Jacquet, you don't know that.
Nope. That's why he tosses it, assumes that it's not the same, and that it's all just coincidence. He kind of yells to no one in particular.
Well, why would they ever remove the kite? Would we know that?
You would presume this is the kite you saw rip off in the windy storm the night before.
Yeah, I was going to say the wind did this.
But I mean, there may be traditions that are where they cut the kites. Like, you don't know, that maybe the Onomancer did cut that kite that night. You just didn't see it.
I don't know. That might have been what you call foreshadowing. It might mean something different.
Sounds just like coincidence to me.
Either way, we'll
Not quite
find out.
just-
Come on.
All right. So are you heading right to the inn now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you would get to the inn easy enough at the back of the Windy Mercato. You walk in, and Alicia is there. She is clearly doing some cleaning up. It's took you an hour to get here, so it is kind of like approaching kind of like that 4:00 time, that early dinner time. And she seems to just be kind of cleaning up a few plates. There may have been someone who came in here to have dinner, but you've arrived after they've arrived. You can hear the children upstairs, or you presume are the children. You can hear some running around up there. But Alicia would look up to you all and say, "Oh, it is good to see you all. You departed so fast this morning. I wasn't sure if I'd see you again today. And I haven't you two." She looks to Jacquet and Sass. And then she also takes a long time to look at Jacquet then and goes, "Oh, no." And rushes over to takes a rag and immediately is pressing it against your wounds.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Never a dull day in the life of an adventurer. You know how it is, of course.
Oh, what happened? I thought that you were just going to check on the farm.
We did, but ran into a bit of trouble.
Have you not seen Torah?
Sorry, I'm grabbing a card to remember this person.
Did you say what time of night it was?
It's like around 4 o'clock. It's not too late yet because you guys have been
okay.
you've been doing stuff all day basically. So I mean, actually, you know what? You did take a short rest. So I'd say it's probably a little more like closer to 5.
Okay. That's what... Yeah. Going back to Clayton's question.
Yeah, she would look to you all and say, Tora just came. She didn't say much. She kept herself quite quiet. And she was so exhausted. Well, yes, they're upstairs right now.
Okay, good.
They were so tired. They basically went to their rooms, and I presume they're sleeping.
They had a long night. But it looks like Davin healing up quite nicely now.
He still looks quite miserable, but there was more life in the eyes. Whatever you must have done, I suppose, it's very helpful. Is it something you could do for others who are sick?
The sickness is manufactured.
So, how did you manufacture illness?
It's an addiction. Just of some sort. Don't buy anything else, or take anything that they offer if they come back. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're making you sick and pretending that they've got the cure.
For reference, this is what it looks like. And Bruce will bring out the little bowl that he has.
She would look at it and then look to the rest of you. I try to keep myself out of the tradings of the bandits. They can't say the same for the rest of town.
Do you have any connection with the people in town? Are you able to get word to everyone to tell them to stop?
There's only 12 buildings here. It's not too hard to send word around. It's more
I think what would help
out in the countryside where people are not they're on their own.
Is who leads this little hamlet here?
Oh, fairly independent, but the Onomancer is sort of the through line of our history. For the most part, we're just folk who live close to each other.
I think it'd be wise for us to speak with him, let him know of the situation that's going on.
Has he addressed the bandit issue in the past?
Probably the last time he did was the last time we all gathered as a community, which was a very long time ago. And people have... I mean, the sickness and the bandits have destroyed any sense of community here. Everyone is isolating themselves or leaving entirely. But I suppose if word needs to get out, we can talk to Rufus Del Mori's horse master in this region. Has several horses that could ride along the roads to warn folk.
The sooner the better. I imagine they'll be on their way.
On their way? They're coming here?
We don't know that for sure, but
It's
we
like
did find their hideout.
And piss them right off.
Oh, I see. You hit the hornet's nest with the stick?
precisely.
Not intentionally. Well, somewhat intentionally. Our friend here got captured. We need to save him.
They started it.
Elected.
It
to
wasn't
go
a
with
fucking election, Jacquette. You
Not
got
now,
captured,
please.
fucking own it.
If it was an election, I would have won.
But you're all capable. You're going to protect us, right?
Of course.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
of
Well, that's
course.
something we wanted to know. Part of that is we wanted to talk with whoever is in charge here, if it is the Ornamentor, what sort of resources could be provided. Are there
Yes.
any other capable fighters? Or...
Closest we have to capable fighters are you folk who go hunting. We don't really fight around here.
What about that man who was here yesterday morning. The blacksmith.
Desmond? He makes horseshoes. And
Is he good at it? The game,
Game.
that is.
game?
A horseshoe game. You never played horseshoes?
I've never played horseshoes.
Okay. Well, if he knows the game horseshoes and he's good at throwing them, then we could still probably use him.
I mean, he's a strong man, but he
We can
spends
talk
his
to
days
Desmond.
making pots and pans and horseshoes and farm needs. Like,
Pots and
I didn't
pans are
even
also
know.
weapons, by the way.
Well, then how about this? Talk to the what did you say, the stable master?
yes, it's,
Get a
Rufus
word
owns a horse farm and tends to
If you
the.
could, I would get word out to
Stable,
everybody that lives in the area here. Tell them that there's an emergency meeting. We should be here. We'll address the problem to them. Tell them that they're in grave danger. And we need to get the word out.
Tonight?
Tonight.
So,
All right, I'll go around town.
in the meantime, I think we go up the hill and have a chat with the Automancer.
Okay. He's a bit ornery these days, but he welcomes outsiders.
Well, if he cares about you lot, then he should be accepting of us, because we're trying to help, and there's an immediate danger.
Of course. If you're heading up there, could you take this? And you see she hands over. She turns around, walks to the back, comes out, and has just sort of this little basket that just has like a supper for the Onomancer. Like, it seems like she probably sends food up for dinner to him most of the time.
Of course, we can take that. No worries. Jacques says as he takes the basket, and his hand lingers on the lip of it, waiting for all eyes to look away.
One more thing. Have you heard the name Brondir before?
Brondir? It's Davin's gifted name.
What? Jacques says as he sits up. No, it couldn't be. But wait. And he leans back down, and his hand just, without even caring, goes into the basket and roots around for something to just.
Oh yeah, you find a hot roll.
Fearn takes the basket away from him.
Hey, I wasn't done with that.
You weren't done with your thought either. Is this the bad foreshadowing you were talking about? Or is it an evil omen?
I mean, bad foreshadowing. Now you're insulting the author, Fearn. You never insult the author, unless they're really bad. No. Continue to eat the hot roll. No. It must be something to do with these spirits, right? You said you took his spirit out. And either the Onomancer knew, or the spirits knew.
That would make sense if the string wasn't cut before we even visited the farmhouse.
Foreshadowing, my friend. Someone knew. It's not always that it happens at the same time. Look, I don't know anything about spirits or anything, but what I do know is stories. And this is how it would happen in a story.
Keep the story in your head for now until we can figure this out.
I'm going to put it on the pages. And oh, I don't have any spell slots. So he just claps his hands and he yells, Robespierre! And nothing happens. And he goes, oh, I think I need a rest.
Yeah, Alicia leans over to whoever's the closest by, and is just like, I think he might have some serious head damage.
Loveless, do you want to stay here and rest off your injuries? You
No, and miss all the fun? We're gonna go ruffle some feathers, right?
Take it to the Onomancer. He's either gonna be evil or he's gonna be the helpful guide that gets us on the way.
Let me take that back. He's beyond fixing.
Oh no.
Well, take care of Davin for now. And do get that message out.
We will return soon with more news.
I'll get
You can
people
tell you
together.
could, yeah, you can tell him first thing in the morning.
Will do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say as we leave, unless you did you want to do something before?
There was actually I wanted to do something.
Go,
if we're in the process of leaving,
Yeah.
just thinking for a second of what Chiquette was saying and like thinking like it's just a coincidence, but like let's see. Septimus is not gonna ritual, but he'll just cast detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
As
You're
we're
looking
leaving.
for
kind of just scan the room. Yes.
30 feet, right?
Yes. Is
Uh,
there one in Alicia?
there is not one in Alicia, but there is 2 upstairs. Well, 3 really, because Tora's up there as well.
Tora's up there as well,
Mhm.
but presumably the 2 children, which is what I was looking for as well.
Yeah, because you would all remember that Alicia is a transplant here and probably didn't go undergo the ritual.
Oh wait, say that again.
Alicia is a transplant here. She came from Gwenvalier, so she probably didn't undergo the ritual.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I imagine that was just sort of like a quick little like.
Just
as you
a
were
mental
leaving.
note, yeah.
Sass, is there something you said you want to do before you leave?
It's as we're walking, Jacquette, you would just notice that like Sass is just staring daggers at you just the entire time, just furious, fuming, just really pissed off at you, as you can
He
tell.
licks his fingers, adjusts his eyebrows, twirls his mustache, and goes,
You're a fucking coward.
"Say whatever you'd like."
I just did. You're a fucking coward. You won't face what you did.
Oh,
You ruined
face everything I
someone's.
do.
You took someone's life. They might have had a family. They might have had relatives.
Okay. Let's assume I killed that woman.
You did. We're not
Okay.
assuming anything. You did. She's dead.
Okay, in this reality where you think I killed this woman,
Which is this reality. Because you did.
not only did she assault me before, not only was she part of a bandit crew that probably has killed before, who knows how many kills are on her belt?
That doesn't justify it. It's not an eye for an eye kind of thing. You
I'm
took a
sorry,
life.
what moral code do you live by? You're a fucking pirate! I thought you people plundered and killed and did all kind of...
scavenger, Jacquette. I've never killed anyone in my life.
Okay, I just want to let the jury know that she's a scavenger and not a pirate. Though she tries to be a pirate every fucking day I see her with her little... And he gestures to her outfit.
Which I don't have anymore because I left it all in the mud. So I guess I should remind you, all I have is a tank top and my pants and my boots.
So
and my,
I guess
my
he'll
amulet.
go, and... Well, I don't know why you changed, but...
Because it was covered in the blood of the person that you... What is the matter with you? Why can't you face it?
I don't
Why
understand.
can't you face it?
I don't understand why it is so important for you that I face what you think I did. Why? Why does it matter to you?
Because you
Is
took
this like
a
what
life.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting?
You took a life, Jacquette, and you can't give it back.
Okay.
Just like I did. We both
Okay,
did.
you know what?
We're equals in this moment
Cool.
right now. We're
Cool.
both murderers.
Okay, fine. I murdered someone.
Come
Okay,
down
fine.
off of your-
Hey, everybody! I fucking killed someone! Who cares?
Didn't Fearin do that like 2 days ago?
Right.
Ignoring
It's more like a
everyone
week
else, Jacques is just staring into Sass's eyes and he goes, "Who cares, Saskia? You do. That's the only one who cares here. Because you have a problem with what you did, and now you're trying to put it on me?
Why don't I did
No,
what
no,
I
no.
did?
No.
Yes,
We're
yes,
not talking
yes.
about me.
No,
You're the one.
everything's fucking about you, Jacquet. Everything. You're not so high and mighty. You're not so up in the clouds here. You're on the same level as I am right now. You're down here on the same level. You're
Okay.
not better than any of us. And I'm sick of
Okay.
you acting like it.
Okay.
I'm sick of
Fine.
it.
I'm not better than any of you.
You're fucking
I'm
not.
rolling in the mud with all of you. But at the end of the day, I'm fine with what I did. It's you that needs to accept what you did.
Fuck you.
Imagine all of this happened right outside of the front door of the tavern while the other three of you had kind of like just started to keep walking towards the gate that leads up to the Onomancer and then turn around as soon as they just are at each other's throats outside of this little tavern.
Yeah, Fear would have been watching, like, in case something happened, but he's just on standby.
Yeah,
Septimus would
I'd
have,
be like, awkwardly nearby, like,
we didn't just walk off.
No,
Yeah,
what I
we
meant by
would've-
that is
I
like
would-
you were like 5 feet ahead of them and like
right,
kept walking when they
yeah.
stopped to yell at each other
Yeah.
and then turned around.
Yes. We didn't walk all the way to the Ornamentor's
Yeah,
house
no.
and yelling. It was,
I meant the front gate of
yeah.
the Ownermaster's front gate to his front lawn is like 15 feet from the door of this place. I need to
Don't
remind
even
you
get
all.
15 feet.
There
This
are
is true, but you
12
have to go up the
buildings
hill, right?
in this
You have to go up the
hamlet.
hill, right?
It is barely. This is barely a village. Like everyone would have heard in the town. Basically, would have heard this argument, other than the people like furthest east and north on the road, which is like 200 feet away, maybe 100 feet, 50 feet away. Like this is a tiny ass hamlet. So when you got to the Onomancer's gate, you would have only been 5 feet ahead of them.
Well, then that's what has stopped.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, but yes.
Septimus, do you think I should give them my 2 cents, or? I
They've
mean,
been
it
at
looks
each-
like they stopped yelling.
They've
I
been
don't
at
need
each
your
other's
2
throats
cents.
for-
As Jacquet
since-
walks up to them, I don't need anyone's 2 cents. I got plenty of gold. It's good enough for me.
what is a cent? Is that a copper, silver?
Smaller than a
Gold.
copper.
He said sense, like your senses.
Ah,
Nice save.
I thought I said scent, like smells.
Why would you give 2 smells? What? That's not. Is that what you thought that the phrase was?
Well, there's a lot of bullshit going around. One over here and one over there, and I point to the 2 of them.
That's pretty good.
As you all are together now at the front
Are you
gate.
both done for now?
I never started.
Right, but you made the whole town hear that, so.
I just
Yeah.
Sass really wants everyone to know that I'm a murderer, so I wanted to make sure everybody knows.
No, I want you to know that, Jacquet. I want you to accept it.
Alright. As much
Why
as
do
I
you care
don't like
about
talking
anything he thinks? Clearly, if you've known him for more than 2 minutes, he's
He's a fucking
Not the-
fake.
right. So
He's
what?
a fake. He's a
He's
You're
our
fraud.
doing
fake.
better than you.
He's a fake, but he's our fake, so.
No.
Come on, kitty cat.
Meow.
I hate all of you.
Septimus.
After a minute, I guess it's just like an awkward, Jesus Christ, awkward silence. They're like, all right, and he'll turn around and head up the Ornamentor's steps.
Yep. You can easily enough. The little cottage gate is, it is literally just like a fence gate. It's not even waist high. You open it up and you start to head up. Kind of, it's sort of an ascending hill that wraps around to the front of the cottage, which is at the top. You hear the whipping of the kites all around. It seems like almost like to the point when you step into this little gated area and you just feel almost like there's a magical light enough breeze or strong enough breeze to keep these kites up that is just sort of constantly within this little hill that the cottage is. As you start to
As we're trotting up,
Mhm.
What's the count of the kites that are flying?
It's pretty hard to count them, truthfully. There's a lot of them.
Really?
You might imagine that there are more than just the folk in town. Like these are kites that are accounting for like the population of Reykjavik. That is in a certain mile radius of this particular crossroad.
If it's not countable in a simple way, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you can presume just looking at it that there's probably over 100 kites there that are all kind of clustered together.
Oh, well. Okay. In that case, walk up to the door as we get there and give it a good old hearty knock.
I wonder what happens when there's no wind.
Magic.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Good question.
I'm sure that this individual has some magical talents. There's no way that those can stay levitating for forever.
As you knock, and as you're having this little brief conversation, you would hear from behind the cottage itself. Because as soon as you get up to it, you can see this is like a very, very quaint cottage. It's probably one large main space, and then you can, as you walk up, you can see there's like a back portion that juts out that you could presume might be a bedroom or whatnot. Very, very simple thatch roof. And you knock, and you can see to the right and left there is another set of kind of small wooden fencing. And you would hear from behind the cottage, you would hear, "Oh, do I have some visitors? Come around to the back, to the gate, back into the garden."
Septimus would lead the way and turn the corner or whatever and head into the garden. And what does he see?
You would see that this is quite a robust garden. You can see there are raised beds all over the place. There are large plants grown all throughout. It seems like, despite the Alicia maybe gifting the Onomancer a dinner here and there, like he is clearly, from the looks of this, completely self-sustainable within the plants and other vegetables that he grows here and fruits. And as you see, you kind of like turn the corner, you can see that in the back of this area, towards where the hill curves back down, you would see there are these 3 apiary bees nests there, and you can see this little man, probably like 5'3", in a full apiarist, full beekeeper costume, and like that like medieval kind that has like the wicker face on it. And you see he just sort of pops up from behind one of these bees nests as he places some honeycombs back in and puts the top back onto it. As you can hear kind of like this whole space of buzz with the bees. You can hear some bird song beyond the hill. So this hill on the opposite side of it from the way you came would have a little stream in it that you would also hear trickling that leads down into the pond out front of Billowgrass. And then beyond that, you can see there's a little tiny wooden bridge that leads from this hill over this little stream to the next hilled area, where you can see a very, very thick forest there, where you could presume this bird song is coming from. But this little 5'3" man kind of wanders over to you all and takes off that old apiarist hood. And you can see this very, very wide. The first thing you all think when you see him is he looks a lot like those frog statues, as he has a very frog-like face, wide mouth, big eyes. He has white hair that kind of comes off in a scraggly mutton choppy beard. He has his hair is all kind of chaotically comes out in a ring around a bald spot. Very Danny DeVito like his hair, with these very big bright green eyes. and he looks like he's probably in his 60s or 70s. As he's taking off this whole kind of robe, beekeeping robe, you can see underneath he has a very, very simple, sort of a vermilion, or not really vermilion, more of a dark red color. These robes. He kind of, truthfully, now that I'm describing him, maroon. Thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. He's kind of looks like the cliche cartoon dungeon master from the old D&D stuff, but a little, actually pretty close to that.
As you're describing this, like, how far away is he from us?
This whole backyard area is pretty large. This garden is probably, I would say, like close to like 80 feet long. His whole back area.
Because upon just seeing his face reveal, Septimus would turn to Sass or Jaquette, whoever's closer, and be like, "Look familiar?"
He looks like a Scald Blade with that weird ritual mask that he had on.
I mean, for Bruce's question, he wasn't in the hideout, right?
Didn't see him.
No.
Okay. Well, that's a good start.
As you're whispering this,
Onomancer.
Yep, it's like as you were whispering this, you then like kind of turn around and say, "I take you as the Onomancer." As he gets up to you from back there. Also, to add to kind of the aesthetic here, like these parts of this area are also covered in like pergolas, those sort of patched wooden overhangs, giving the space kind of like a comfortable shade. As he approaches with that little mask underneath his arm, he looks up. Oh yes, they call me the Onomancer. Yes, mystic, elementalist, wise man, wizard. All sorts of names from all around Reykjavik, but you can call me Augustus.
Pleasure to meet you, Augustus. My name is Septimus. This is Fionn.
What you're doing to the people of this town, it's putting them in danger.
Okay.
You should stop at once.
Nope.
How about we provide context before just making blatant statements?
I presume you're blaming me for the sickness in town and the bandit scourge.
Well, I suppose I'm only partially blaming you, but still, the spirits are not ones to be trifled with.
And I do not trifle with them.
Do you think they wish to be trapped within the people of this town?
The spirits that bless each of these fine folk in Reykjavik, not just Billowgrass, are partnered with them as guardians. This is a decades, centuries old tradition.
I think.
You think that I just arrived to this town yesterday and started to give all of their children guardian spirits?
I don't care how long it's been going on. I just think it needs to stop.
All right.
Well, that's not what I presume he meant. Never mind. Sean.
Yes.
Just quickly, when we left the tavern, how long did it take to get here?
Like 2 minutes.
Cool. I'm sure this man is radiating, but could you tell me what I see inside
Oh
of him
yeah,
as far as magic?
He is beaming with magic. And you can see like this whole space emanates magic. Down to just sort of this sort of conjured wind that keeps the space sort of breezy to keep the clouds alight. You can see the clouds, the kites above. You can see, at least for like some of the kites that fly a little lower, they are magical as well. You can see this whole space is sort of inundated with traces of magic. But yes, he is clearly a capable caster. You can see he is currently just what you can see off of him is an abjuration magic
On him.
Yeah.
No, but what about like somewhere like the wisps of like elemental?
Yes, you would be able to see that there is a elemental wisp within him That is
Okay.
stronger, though. It looks
Yeah.
much brighter than the ones you've seen prior.
Got it. Cool.
So
Go ahead,
in a-
Bruce.
So what Fionn is getting at is this partial spirits that are associated with these people are being agitated by a drug that's being distributed to your members in your community. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I was not aware of this.
All right.
I was
so-
aware of problems and some of the youth of the town going off and interacting with less than savory sorts of these bandits.
So those bandits, they're pretty much drug dealers. They've been handing out members of your community this drug, and looks like this. And Bruce will hold out a bowl, and pretty much this is a really highly addictive substance that they say and they sell as a cure. It's actually an adjutant to the spirit that's inside of the user, and causes a lot of problems. And the more and more they take it, the more feral they become, I'll say, or more spirit-like. I don't know, chaotic.
Well, I felt the animating spirit of one of these elementals earlier today, but nothing returned home. I'm sorry.
Also, we extracted one of the spirits out of Devon.
So this kind of just like nudges him.
Bruce is just
You've
like, yeah.
extracted one of the guardian spirits from one of this town.
Yeah,
It was the only way to save the lad. Septimus will kind of sign and kind of like sternly be like, if not, he
No.
didn't look like he was going to make it.
So these brigands have come
Bandits.
to... What's in a name?
Everything, Jacquet says, looking up at the kites and going like, doo 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 doo. No.
They have profaned our ritual, our tradition, to turn the guardian spirits against their hosts.
What is your
Correct.
ritual? Can you tell us about it? How people get their names?
Why don't you come inside? Some of you look like you could use some food. As he looks
Speaking of which,
Sass in.
so just
Jacquet.
grab the basket from Fionn or whoever has it and be like, this is from Alicia.
Oh,
Delivered to
oh, Alicia. Yes, she's so kind to me. Every year I'd hoped that she might take part in the ritual, but quiet observer. I appreciate her so much for organizing the festivities, and it is a shame that they're not going to be happening this year. But come along in. I'll see what she's provided and serve you up some lunch, some early dinner, late lunch, whatever you wish to call it. You'll look very hungry. As you go inside, and he would kind of take out the basket, and he'd serve up some of the contents to you all, provide you with tea or coffee or whatever you wish. And you were kind of like inside. You can see, like, you walk through the back part that jutted off of the cottage, and you can see this is just sort of like a storage room. It has all of his gardening tools in it, and some other sort of reagents. You can see a whole reagent wall, various herbs and other things. And then his space is literally just a singular room that has a small bed on one side, a stove and kitchen area, and a large table in the middle, with the walls kind of covered in various different carvings, paintings. The walls are covered. Like, this is a maximalist place. Like, this is not minimalism. Like, he is covering the walls with tchotchkes and other things. In several, like, hanging, drying spices and whatnot hanging from the ceiling. as you would eventually sit down and you would be served up a little bit of food. And he would look to you, Sass, and everyone. Oh, our traditions are date back before my own tenure, so to speak, as onomancer, speaker of names, knower of the spirits. Well, from what I know, is at least 3 generations of onomancers that have been part of this region of Asia. And unfortunately, during my own lifetime, the reverence for the spirits has declined. And he kind of like looks at you, Septimus, for a moment. He's like, hey, you look familiar. Have you known the spirits?
At one point. And I'm from this area. Asia, at least. Grew up with my rather large family, about 2 days' journey towards Ivan.
Oh, yes. And you can see he kind of like closes his eyes for a moment. And he looks to you. Septimus, what were your parents' names?
It was
Dad and Mom.
No, it was Agrippina and Gaius.
Septimus.
Evergreen.
Septimus. You're one of Gaius, I believe? One of his children?
So we met?
I don't always recall, but I remember a Gaius and an Agrippina. Those were the names. Children, many. Names like yours. The languages of Kiranor. I had always hoped you would take part in the ritual, or your family would.
Oh. Suppose they were stuck in their ways from the old country.
Well, regardless, as the tradition goes, some generations ago, people of Reykjavik made a pact of sorts, an oath, a covenant, with the storm spirit Eyeless. In exchange for our respect and honor, Eyeless would gift people of Reykjavik with a protector. A piece of the storm.
Protector. It seems that everybody that's fallen ill here have been killed by this said protector.
Exactly why I said that it has been profaned by these brigands.
Tell me, if these spirits are supposed to be protecting your people, why haven't they, warned you? Why haven't they taken care of the bandits? Aren't you the spiritual leader here? Shouldn't you be rallying your people against this threat that it seems to be destroying your town?
Well, he kind of scans you, Fearn. As I presume you may know, spirits are not always as reliable as we'd hope. They provide fortune. Fortune is not always in our favor, particularly of the storm. That chaos is... We are a small community in Billowgrass. We are not prepared or set up to defend ourselves against bandits that come in with subversive, nefarious means. The folk who live in Billowgrass, maybe one or two can carry a sword and know how to use it. Now, as my part as spiritual leader, I've sent word across the crossroads. Ivan, Asia City. I've sent warnings to the northern and southern villages. I presume you are what was sent to help us.
Are you familiar with a sigil from the Hyven Academy?
A little bit. I had sent word to him or his contacts. He has visited us a long time ago to learn more about our tradition. Odd fellow. What kind?
Very much so. He is who sent us.
Well, that is extraordinary.
Yes, we are.
Have you just arrived today?
Last night, but we get to work pretty quickly, as you can tell.
What have you come to do? Are you here to chase the bandits out of town? Out of the region?
Well, that's kind of the crossroads we stand at right now. We encountered them. There's something like 15 strong. We originally came here to just acquire information, see what's happening here, get some information, some evidence, bring it back to Hyven. Came to talk to you as far as if there are any other resources you could provide us if we choose to stay and maybe fight off this threat.
Well, I may not look like it, but in my younger days I was capable of some magic. I could light a fire under the ass of some enemies of the town, so to speak.
Oh.
But I have not, we've not had conflict like this. You said that, oh, these are not combat bees. Well, their sting is quite painful, I know. Temperamental like the elements. But I suppose you said that releasing the spirit helps the sick.
Yeah. They're addicted to the substance itself still, so they have to get over that. But there's a lot of additional effects when they have the spirit in them. So if they remove the spirit, it's kind of half the problem, or half getting over half the withdrawal is.
It makes it easier.
Makes it easier, yeah.
You see, he kind of waddles over to a small window that looks out to the back area. And you see he clearly is looking up at the kites. Well, I suppose, though I'd rather not rob the people of Reykjavik of their spirits, I could perform a ritual to extract spirits from the sick.
I feel like we're robbing you of this. Bruce is actually going to take out the pressure plate that he made, and he's just going to, in front of everybody, just like start undoing it and take out the emerald. We contained Davin's spirit in this. He's going to hand it over.
You see he takes it and looks to it. I suppose preserving it within crystal, within gem, may make it so it can be re-bestowed upon him when he is better. versus letting it go to the breeze. In your ventures through town and the countryside, if you could keep an eye out for a kite, the name Brondir on it.
Oh, we found it. Jacquet, where is it? Don't you have it?
I think it's somewhere by the well. Last I saw.
Oh, I thought you picked it up.
Oh, I looked at it, yes. Wherever it is, the spirits took it to where it rightfully belongs.
I punch him in the shoulder.
He gets knocked unconscious. No, I'm just kidding. He has so little hit points.
You see August looks to you all, or looks to Jacquet, and he does smile, and he says, "Is it in the well?"
It's in the well.
I didn't look. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
I'd rather it be in the well than on the wind. We can easily recover that. I'm sure it's tangled with the bucket.
Just as the spirits intended.
He says, looking around to everyone like, huh?
I understand that to those of you who are not from this area or do not revere the spirits in the same ways that our traditions might seem silly. But the magic that goes into this is much greater than just a accord with the spirits. Onomancy is a very powerful thing.
No, I'm actually quite curious about how this whole naming thing works. Do you have to do it in a ritual sense? Like, do you have to do it at the festival, or can you do it any time?
You
also
can't be thinking about claiming one of these spirits as your own as a protector after everything that's happened.
No, not so much that, but more so just a name. I mean, I have a name, but it seems like these names have meaning. Mine does. I don't think mine does. I gave it to myself just because I liked it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
acclaimed name is nothing to throw away. There is power in that as well. But what of your true name?
My true name? What do you mean?
Your true name. Names bestowed upon you. In essence.
I don't think I.
And he kind of comes up to you and like it starts to stare at you, and you can see he kind of like scratches at the beard at the sides.
I don't think I have one.
Oh, everyone has a name. Everyone has a
I have
true
the
name.
name that I gave myself, but I don't. No, I don't think I do.
Well, when this messy business is done, and if you can get me, if you can, toddle on down to the well and get that kite for me, this bandit business is finished, we can perhaps take a look into it for you.
Can you tell us more about this eyeless? The spirit that guards your people.
Well, some believe Eyeless to be an amalgam of several elemental spirits of the Reikiovo lands. Others believe he is a powerful storm spirit that has the power to rage throughout the lands, as well as the power to gift life throughout the lands with their rains and winds that carry the crops, the seeds.
How does he manifest? Do you speak to him? Or it, I should say.
And you see his face does get a little downcast at you mentioning, do you speak with Eyeless? As he would sort of turn away from you all. Like he had come up to Sass really at this point and had been talking to her, and he turned to Fearn, but at the mention of this, he turns away, saying, "The spirit of Eyeless has been quiet.
have you ever seen the winds shine in a blue light? A guiding wind?
Looking at the other two, Jacques just goes,
What? As Septimus will say under his breath, scoffingly.
Blue
Bruce
wind.
doesn't notice.
Blue wind is often noted as the returning spirit. Blue wind usually only comes when a man dies. His spirit returns to this home. We lay the kite to rest, and the man or the woman in the Espirita, as he will gesture out the window towards the forest beyond the bridge.
When I first came to this town, a day ago, I saw such a wind. It led me to one of the victims of this.
That was this morning.
Right, sorry. It led me to
Yeah.
Davin, but he's still alive. What do you think that means?
It could be the spirit within trying one last time to protect him, to let us know he's in trouble in some way, or to find you. We presume the blue winds that come are the departing winds, and most of the time they are. I suppose the spirits within can do other things when they're threatened as such.
I've tried to speak to the spirits of this land, but they are not responsive.
Isn't it odd, though, that they don't send you a message? The spiritual leader of this hamlet?
Well, the spirits of Reykjavik and Eja, and I'm certain Alfdal as a whole, have been peculiar over the last year since the storm. Some believe Eilis forsook this land with that storm. And these horrible things and these scourges that come upon our community are because the protection has left us. Or at least the power of Eilis. And these spirits we use have lost their power. I don't believe such things. I think that there is still life within these elements. As he kind of holds that gem that Bruce handed to him.
Septimus would kind of get a little real, too, for a second there. I once thought I was forsaken as well. But I agree with you. I don't believe that anymore.
Also getting real. No, sorry, continue.
What'd you say?
I was going to say, also getting real. Jacques moves forward as Septimus finishes his thought.
But what I do think is that the spirits do whatever they want. There's not a thing we can do to convince them otherwise. They protect you one day, and then leave you the next. That's what I'm seeing in this town.
Eilis, you list, we all list for Eilis.
Jacques says, leans back, satisfied with what he just said.
I understand if you do not wish to trifle further than you have with this Eilis. Dealing with spirits is a dangerous thing. We know that from experience. I just have one last thing, and I pull out the Storm Rune charm that I received in Hyven, and I just show it to him and say, "This was repaired by a friend of mine. It holds within it the power of a Storm Rune. Does this, is there anything you can do, or does this maybe this is the reason why the spirits reached out to me?
He would run his fingers over the rune itself and then look back at you and say, "Oh, well, the sorts of runes do guide the path of spirits. I would not be surprised if they sensed this latent power here. I would not be surprised if that is why blue winds came to you. Storm reaching out for the closest thing to it that reflected its own self. It wasn't a source of agitation. Your friend is not entirely wrong, though I choose to put more faith in the elements and their wishes. But to revere the storm is to accept the chaos of it. And we do what we can to work with the spirits. We don't wish to conquer them, which is why we have an agreement, a covenant with Eyeless. Instead of what other folk do when they bind these creatures and profane them for their greed.
Sometimes respect for the spirits comes in different forms. Where I come from, we revere the spirits' chaos as not something to be accepted, but, well, something to be accepted, but something to be wary of. Not something meant for mortals such as us. If this covenant is causing your people harm, despite tradition, you must think about what is best for your people. If that is to continue, then so be it. We've said our part. You have not been useful.
Wow. Burn, Fjern, burn.
If you wish to do something, why don't you come with us? We'll tell the townspeople, and we'll start that ritual you're speaking of.
You have a habit of coming to people and offering aid and then telling them they're useless.
No, he doesn't even offer the aid. He usually just starts with the useless part.
We're getting paid to be here. I don't have to like it.
Well, we're actually getting paid to solve the issue here. Being here doesn't incur any cost. I mean, I guess technically we can be reimbursed for the cost of the inn every day, which...
I don't know. It's kind of exciting. I don't
Well,
know about you guys.
From the way I see it, we've done our part. It's up to the people of this town to defend themselves from now on.
How can
We
you be
can't
so
stay here forever.
heartless?
I'm not. We've discovered
are.
what's going on here.
Right, but there's people who are in danger still.
And remember, we get more silver if we solve the problem.
I'm surprised to say that I'm in agreement with Fjern.
What?
I know.
Yes.
I think we're over our heads with fighting these things off and curing the problem immediately. I think the best course of action is to take the information we have and go back to Haven.
And just leave these people to deal with the wrath that we incurred.
We will tell them all we know tomorrow. We're not going to keep them in the dark. And I will offer my services to each one that is afflicted and let them know straight up, if they allow me to release the elemental, that they'll be safe.
They're not
will
going to be
choose-
safe from the bandits, though. What if they come and raise their homes and just decide to just...
That's the
ruin
bandits
their
aren't
lives?
here to ruin. Well, sorry. The bandits are here to make money, right? They're not here to destroy this community.
But if they don't get their money, don't you think they might?
Then
destroy
they'll
the
move
community
on.
No, bandits are cowards, and trust me, being a coward, I know a thing or two about cowards.
You do
If they
realize,
can't-
too, coming from somebody who can't comprehend killing someone, that you'd probably be doing that again if we do stay and fight.
I would control it a little better than I did before.
Well,
So that's
I
it.
personally don't want to kill anybody either, and I'd rather not put myself in that situation. I should warn these people on the morrow, and tell them that if they stay, that what may come. And I'm sure if we go back to Hyven, that they'll send something to help them. Hell, we
Are
can
you
even
sure?
come back and
Are
help.
you certain? What would that,
I'm not.
What would that look like? You
I'm
just
not
said that you were
certain.
sure, Septimus.
Fine, I'm not sure. I presume.
Oh,
If
that's
it's-
it then. The aid that was sent to us, leaving tomorrow. Well, in that sense, give me time to prepare. I thank you for discovering the cause of the sickness, and from what you've said, apparently angered those who have caused it. I'm sure you're correct. They don't want to make money. They are brigands after all. But I wouldn't exactly consider them entrepreneurs in many senses. And, well, I hope you enjoyed the lunch. I have a lot of work to do tonight if this is truly what our fate is. Please, go about your business.
She fears the worst, but I don't think you will see any more trouble from them.
I don't know that, Fearn.
That I don't agree with either, but
You don't
Not
think
quite
we're going
certain
to see
standing.
trouble against the bandits who would stand at the end of our town threateningly, keeping us from moving, who keep others from coming into our town, scare off anyone who comes to help, other than, I suppose, yourselves, although it seems like they have scared you off.
We destroyed
No.
their operations.
Not all of us. It's not enough, Fearn.
What is enough then?
I have now realized it may have been a mistake for me to have done some of the things I've done. You are to leave, please leave. We will deal with it on our own, I suppose.
I'm sorry, what does that mean? You're afraid of some of the things you've done. Talking about us or other things? Jacquet says, like, leaning over the chair, looking at him.
I expected when I reached out to Sigil, or I'm sorry to say, more. I do not deny that you have helped in at least finding what the problem is. But I suppose we'll see tomorrow. This was just a... I will join whatever meeting you've decided to throw with my community. We will go from there. If you... But he kind of takes a deep breath. I suppose I cannot expect you to fight if they come here.
We haven't fully decided that yet. We're going to talk about it as a group, aren't we?
If
Whatever you
take-
decide, there's no... You've done us a great service, and as you claim to have said, destroying their hideout, discovering what the problem is. If we must deal with it on our own, we will deal with it on our own. It is not... There is no ill will from me. But I just ask that you don't scare the people too much.
Onomancer, all I asked of you was to help us.
And I offered to help you. There's not a single second of this conversation where I have not offered to help you, and you have rudely said that I am useless. You've insulted my community. I insulted our traditions, which I understand may need to be bent and malleably changed now, which I already offered to help with. So, please,
We'll leave.
I hope
We'll
you
leave.
enjoyed this early supper. I have much to prepare now.
Fearn, get the fuck out. Go.
All of you, can you please leave? I will see you at your meeting in the morning.
Very well. As you wish. Septimus will get up and start walking out.
Well, I think that went pretty well. As I leave.
As you all step out of the cottage, I think we'll take a break there. All right, folks, please stick around with us and see what happens next. See if they leave and just head back to Hyven, which is, truthfully, they've gotten 2 out of the 3 things they needed to do here, and you will have quite a significant payout. Not the full payout, but a payout, and you perfectly can leave right now. Or if they'll stay and try to solve the problem before leaving. All right, folks, we will be back shortly. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. Our heroes, our hired hands, have met with the onomancer of the town, the spiritual leader, to let him know what's going on, and has sent Alicia around to gather the townsfolk to let them know to meet tomorrow morning to discuss the news and to learn what they need to do to protect themselves. Our heroes have somewhat of a disagreement going on over whether they should stay to help the town longer or leave with the information they have to go back to Sigil, because they've done enough to at least garner, complete most of the job, or the basics of the job plus a little bit more. So, before we return to the group, we're gonna have a small vignette. So, Stefan, if you could change the mood of the music towards more serious.
Sinister.
Sinister, yeah, we'll say sinister.
Bomb shelter?
I don't know which
You
one that
see
is, so let's go with it.
Short, squat man with
It's
brown
under
green
the,
glasses.
DM use order.
shaking
Oh,
water
no,
out of
no,
his
don't do that
hat.
one. Don't do that one. That's
Okay.
that one's super scary.
I was in the middle of my vignette.
I'm so sorry.
You
Please
see it?
continue.
Pan to a completely shattered, completely debris everywhere farmhouse. Squat little man with 2 round sunglasses, shaking out water out of his hat. They're like, those fucking buggers.
All right, I'm gonna take over there. But he's not wrong on where we're going. So, the camera pushes in, not pans. We're not
Fuck,
panning
I
here.
know. Listen, I'm not a film person. Pan is everything. Up and down, pan, back and forth, pan.
I know that pan is the universal word for the non-filmmakers' camera movement. But no. The camera pushes in on the ruined farmhouse. It was already ruined, but now the rooftop is completely blown off of the right portion of it, and you can see water is gushing from the trap door, and you can see suddenly a scaled arm comes reaching out, muscular, covered in the sort of somewhat silver and white scales that was the winged dragonborn that Sass saw. As that dragonborn drags themselves out, you can see the wings kind of crushing in smaller and then pulling out as they pull themselves up, and then with their other arm goes down and pulls up the portly man with the round glasses, holding him by kind of the back of his cloak like scruff on a dog, and places him down as he starts to cough up water as he's down on all fours. The dragonborn pulls themselves up and they look around. You can see the water is rapidly continuing to flow and fill this space. There's about an inch of water on the ground flowing from the trap door out into the grass and mud outside. The water does not seem to be stopping in its flow. The dragonborn kind of shakes off and the water splashes all over the place as Bardly is wringing out his cloak and continuing to cough and checks his glasses. As you can see, a few other bandits start to drag themselves out of the water log. Other bandits seem to be approaching from other sides to see what is going on. Some of them you can see are limping from Bruce's traps. Others are holding each other up as they've been pretty beat up by the traps. But then you would see coming out from the trapdoor is just sort of this smoky shadow as then forms itself up in front of Bardly. As you can see, that half-orc stands there, soaking wet as well, but reforms in this shadow and comes rushing forward and grabs Bardly by the neck and lifts him up in the air so his legs are dangling. You hear that cane comes dropping and clatters on the wood and water as the half-orc looks him in the face and just says, "Deal with these adventurers now, or I will have your head." And he drops him into the water. Splash. And starts to walk away through the bandits, who all kind of part like the sea to him, afraid, as he starts walking up the road. He turns back and looks now to the Dragonborn. "Ensure this is done, or I will do it for you." That'll be the end of your little ragtag band. I'll give you a week. Bring me their heads. And he leaves. See, Bardly just sort of scrambling, like scrambles to his cane and pulls himself up and looks to the Dragonborn, who has this much more steely gaze. As Bardly's like, "I think he can tell us what to do. I think he can tell us what to do." And you see the Dragonborn just grabs Bardly again on the shoulder and digs their nails in and looks to him and says, "You're not in charge anymore." And kind of pushes him down to his knees. "You've led us to failure after failure after failure. No more." And you see, she takes out the sword that was given to them by the Shadow Orc. And she's sort of looking at it. You can see now kind of like it has this pommel on it. You can see near the hilt, or near the crossbar, which is not really that big. It's kind of like, truthfully, it's almost katana-like, the sword. She flicks up, and almost like the gear of a lighter sparks, and you can see the darkened metal part of the blade that you saw, Sass, ignites in fire. You can see a little capsule shoots out of the bottom, almost like the shell of a bullet coming out of a gun. As she holds it to Bardly's neck, it says, "Run." And that's where we'll come out of that vignette.
Well, I think that went well, I say as I leave the house.
About as well as most of our conversations.
Can't seriously be thinking about leaving. There's people in danger.
I mean, I can't seriously think we'd be staying to fight. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, right? We'd be outnumbered.
It might be the safest thing for them is for us to
leave?
leave.
Why? If from what he was saying, there's not a lot of people here who can fight. We can. Even you two, you are capable of crafting those traps. You're capable of stopping them, even if it's not directly.
Right, but someone swings a sword at me,
Well, that's why you I don't know. We'll come up with a plan. We'll think about it. We'll come up with a plan where you're not in the line of fire. We can take that. We can do that.
Yeah, but then crabs will pop up behind you and grab you, and
I don't think we have to worry.
and then
about
nobody's
that.
there to protect you, and it's really hard.
Okay, Bruce. All right.
Listen,
Bjorn's just looking at you in disgust.
Septimus, you had something?
no, I'll retract that. Just stay quiet for now. Just contemplating.
I could be convinced to stay, but I just want to know where the prophet is.
Why is that what matters right
The
now?
prophet?
There's people's lives that are in danger. Who cares about some fucking money?
I'm not saying
I know you
prophet
fucking
as
do,
in-
Jacques. I know you fucking do. Don't raise your fucking hand. Put it down.
Okay, but I want to
What's-
just break this down for all of you real quick, okay?
Real quick.
What
go
are
for
we?
it.
What are we?
A human being.
No, not that existential, though. I like where you're going,
He's
Sass.
not also, and neither is he. And neither is he.
And actually, you're not. You're a half-elf. We're humanoids. But remember, you're in a fantasy role-playing game right now, Saskia. Come on, get with it. No, I mean, what are we? He says, like, gesturing, like, trying to, like, group everyone together.
Well, I
A
thought
fucking fight.
We're adventurers, you
swords.
dense idiots.
I-
We're
I-
adventurers, and what do adventurers do?
we solve problems for people.
And we protect them when they can't protect themselves.
Well, I didn't read that.
And no,
part.
we get paid. Jacques, yes, adventurers get paid. But this is bigger than that.
We save the day, is what I was going to say.
Okay, what does that look like to you here?
What that looks like is we have a village in need,
Right?
and bad guys, bandits,
Right.
evildoers.
Uh-huh.
So if we stay and stop those bad guys,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna save the day. And you know what happens to people who save the day?
Wait a minute, are you saying you want to stay?
Of course I do. Imagine the songs, the stories, the heroes who stayed and fought for Billowgrass. A plucky group of adventurers for a plucky little town. Look, I hate this place. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a shithole. But if we return to Hyven and say that we saved this shithole, of course we won't tell them we think it's a shithole. But if we say we saved it, all of a sudden that's getting us some street cred, right? Right now we're in the negative. I'll level with you guys. We are not doing great with street cred in Hyven. But if we start doing good things, not only does that lead to better opportunities in the future, but it gets us discount at the store. It gets, a free piece of armor here and there. It gets us better jobs for better pay.
You're
know?
so shallow. Those are all the wrong reasons. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that you're, on my side here and you want to stay, but those are all the wrong reasons to want to stay.
He's
Okay.
kind of right in some aspects, though, in terms of the sales attitude. But we kind of ruined our reputation with this last conversation with
Yeah,
the
what the fuck are you doing
owner
calling
of-
him useless? Fionn?
right.
Well, he is.
That's beside the point. You don't just come and say that to somebody's
So, like,
face.
and
It's not wrong, but I was pretty ballsy to call him right in front of his face. That was pretty cool.
Well, if we do stay, do you think we can get the townspeople to like us more than him?
yeah, but Sigil is going to be the one contacting this guy. Sigil, sorry.
Wait,
God damn it.
Can we just stop on the moment of being liked and praised by anything? None of us are going to hear that praise if we're all dead. I think we need to come to the real realization of whether or not we could take these guys by force.
We can.
Of course we can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I'm with them. We definitely can take them.
All right, so what's your guys' plan?
Well, that's what we're.
Well, that's what
I'm
I'm
not-
asking
it's
Septimus for.
It's our plan. We do it together, just like we did. That plan that that Septimus that you procured, that you came up with. It went off with basically no hitches. It was nearly perfect. You have a strategist brain, Septimus. Yet so much of you can't fight. You can plan it. You can place everybody on the chessboard. That's important too.
So you're all in agreement with staying then?
I mean, I'm not, but
I suppose I could go either way.
Bjorn,
You're
it's gonna be a
fucking
good
useless,
fight.
Bjorn.
It's gonna be a good fight, all right? Let me tell you, I fought
Look,
with him once or twice.
I'm all for a good fight, but I promised Septimus that during this adventure that he would be in charge, and I want to see what he thinks.
Sorry, I'm in charge. I'm the leader, right? Remember, we agreed on
The
that.
one that got kidnapped, right?
Elected to allow himself to be subverted into their hideout so I could learn more.
Sure, without telling any of us.
Yeah.
Well,
and-
you know how you guys are.
That's not leadership potential.
And I was the one that fucking learned everything, so shut up.
Look, no one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. And I feel pretty hated right now, so I must be speaking a lot of truth.
I don't think that's a saying.
You are insufferable. But I'm glad that you agree that we should stay. So that's me, that's Jacquette. Fearn is probably going to
Jacquette
stay.
is pointing his fingers at Fear and like, come on, buddy, come on.
That's 2. Fearn, what do you say?
If I say we stay, do I get to make the plan?
No,
Hell
I just
no.
fucking said that Septimus is the strategist. No, you just get to swing your sword.
But he hasn't said anything yet.
Because it's not his turn. Are you staying or not?
I want it to be his turn.
Jesus.
Jacquette
Why
goes
do I
over
have to
to
go
Bruce.
first?
I'm still not decided.
Bruce?
Jacquette goes
neither.
over to Bruce and like kneels down next to him. He's like, all right, buddy, look at it now. Local hero from Koboko saves town, revitalizes economy, gets great discounts. Huh?
Koboko doesn't have too much traction here. Nobody's gonna know what that means.
Yet. How are you supposed to make a name for yourself if you don't do anything? You know what I'm saying, man?
But Koboko has to specialize in what they're good at, and so they don't want to have renown in being mercenaries, because then people are gonna call and be like, "Oh, could you save my town?" And they'll be like, "No, we build buildings."
Do none of you care about protecting
Of course
lives?
I care. Don't say
It
that I
doesn't-
don't care.
It doesn't fucking sound
It doesn't
like it's
help
Septimus.
them if we stay here and get in over our heads. I think
I-
the best thing for them is to get people. That's all I'm saying. Is for them, for us to tell back in Hyven what's going on. Back where all the mercenaries are. There's plenty of people from the fucking country I can never remember. I'm sorry, Sean.
Are you sure?
The Alumno Defiance, I think, is what
Yeah,
you're
Alumno
thinking of.
Defiance. Yes, all the mercenaries from Alumno Defiance that are looking for work. We're happy to take up arms. to stop the
Jacquette
bandits.
is digging his claws into Bruce's shoulders and going, if you don't agree with me, I'll make you suffer for it.
All right. Okay.
You're a fucking bully. Oh no. Bruce.
I'll work out in the end, and we'll all be that much richer for it.
Bruce is at this point just he's probably gonna freak out for a little bit, and then he's just gonna be like, all right. And then he's going to just elbow Jacquette in the nuts and then try to break away. And then like hide behind like Sal.
It's just cracking up.
Yeah. Sal absolutely like Sal puts his arm down for you, Bruce, to like climb up to his shoulder.
The lizard.
Jacquette's just staring
Maybe there's a
daggers as he's
fighter in
like
you yet, Bruce.
slumped onto the ground, just going, a cheap shot. Okay, I see how you fight. Maybe you're not as much a coward as I thought.
Eh. Don't do it again.
I help Gloveless up.
Like, we're not going to work well as a team if we're constantly threatening each other.
Do you think there's time, though, Septimus? What if they're right behind us? What if there's not time to send mercenaries? We'll have all of these people's blood on our hands. I can't live with that.
Here's what we could do. Here's another proposal. We are the ones that have a target on our heads, right? We flooded their hideout.
Right?
This place, Billowgrass, is no longer the target for them, right?
Presumably.
Can
I
be.
presume they want to kill us, right? So if we leave, And then we could tell these townspeople to just sell us out. Well, we could set them on the goose chase. We go back to Hyven. They follow us, and then we can recruit more people in Hyven to turn around, and we have numbers.
And we have to share the fame with all those fuckers when we can take it all for ourselves.
But you do bring up a point. If they have a target on us, they'll be pursuing us. And the question is, if they catch up, do we fight on the road? Plan.
If we get the academy
need some time
involved, they're
to-
not gonna pay out.
What if we sleep on it? We take watch. And we sleep on it.
I
We
need to
figure it out
think.
in the morning.
Let me think of a plan,
We could
at least. If I could come up with a plan that I'm comfortable with, then I'll stay.
Fantastic! I am exhausted. I haven't really slept much, and I think I have a concussion, so I'm gonna go to bed. When I wake up, I expect a good plan, Septimus. Good plan.
You know, managers like you would get fired.
And that's why I would never be a manager, Bruce. Oh, no. I would be at the very tippity top, and then disappear before I hear a single complaint.
Go to bed.
And with
Well,
that,
that's
he walks
because your
away.
business would fail, and then okay.
Have you ever heard of filing for bankruptcy, my friends? Only the best businessmen do it. The greatest deals.
You want me to think of something, but I can't notice this. As Septimus will go inside the tavern and ask for a nice herbal tea to calm his mind.
Love it.
Absolutely. Alicia would happily get the herbal tea ready. Imagine the the rest of you would like go in and find either go to your rooms or also grab something to eat or drink.
I will go. I'll follow Septimus in, but I'm not gonna stay in there. I'm just gonna ask Alicia if she has like a spare, like basically a hair tie or just like a spare piece of cord or something that I can like tie my hair back so it's not my face.
She gives you a ribbon,
Perfect.
violet ribbon.
Violet. Ooh. Love it. So I will, as I'm tying my hair up in a ponytail and getting it out of my face, I'll say to Septimus as you're presumably sitting over your herbal tea.
Just kind of like holding up, like my eyes closed, just kind of like meditating.
Yeah.
Experience that too.
Okay. I'm gonna take first watch outside on the cart if you need anything. Right?
Very good.
Go outside with my new ribbon.
Bruce, I imagine, would go inside too. He probably wouldn't get like an herbal tea or anything. He'd probably just get an ale.
Yeah.
Just a low, whatever they had, whatever one beer option they have.
Standard ale.
Standard ale. And he would go into the quarter, kind of, within earshot distance of Septimus, and he would be drawing out a bird on a sketch.
Yeah.
And seeing and then taking out from his pack what metal scraps he has, and kind of mending certain things as he needs.
I love it.
Coming up with an idea.
Yeah, I like to imagine like you're able to like use like almost like soldering as you're putting these scraps together. I love it. Yeah. So we have Bruce in the corner at one of the small tables working on his project. We have Septimus contemplating with his tea at the bar. Fear, and I imagine you're sitting at the bar as well, or one of the tables.
Fion's sitting at the bar next to Septimus, and he's not saying anything, but he is trying to get very drunk.
Okay. Yeah. She Alicia would actually look to you, Fear, and say, we have we have some store of some stronger stuff, but truthfully, and she kind of like actually like points over, and you all kind of notice now that like Ari and Portents are there, and Portents is like her eyes are dashing around because she's still super nervous around you all, and she's just kind of like keeping an eye on you guys. They're like working on the decorations. that they had kind of put away. Like they're putting garlands together. Alicia kind of looks to you, Fear, and says, I can spare some of the harder stuff if you're looking for that, but we're trying to reserve some of it because we think, we're kind of optimistic that maybe once you've dealt with everything, that we might be able to do the festival this year. We might have time to have it. So we're trying to save some of it, even if they didn't. We re-announce,
Septimus would just interject. You still want to celebrate the spirits after what's happened?
I can't say. And she kind of looks to you, and then she looks over at the girls, and she says,
not saying to clarify, it wasn't like rudely. It was like
no.
Curiously.
Your delivery of the line read it perfectly well as curious, actually curious. She looks to you and then looks. Her nervousness in that response was not from your sentence. It was from her looking to the girls, and she says to them, "Girls, why don't you take that out in the patio and work on that out there?" And they sort of nod, and Ari kind of protests, but Portens grabs her arm and pulls her with the garlands they're working on, and they step out into the back to not be part of the conversation. Listen, Septimus, I'm not particularly spiritual like this town. I've come from a different place. But my daughter, my foster daughter, she lost her parents in all of this. It's not for me. It's not for me.
But you want to do something for your young ones. You want to have them be brought up in a better world. Is that right?
As much as I can.
It'll kind of just nod. Just kind of go back to thinking.
Fear at first his teeth were gritted when she mentioned that he couldn't, get the good stuff, or she was kind of just dissuading him away from it. But after hearing that it's for the kids, he kind of sighs and says, "Give me the well stuff. Beer's fine. Ale."
And she would grab you a standard ale like Bruce's. Looks and just says, "Again, on the house. I've got to go tend to some stuff in the back with the girls, but thank you."
You're a good guardian. You keep them safe.
Try my best. She walks out.
Fearn looks towards Septimus and says, "They can't all be that bad, right? The spirits, people. This world, it's not as cruel as I once thought it was."
I don't see it as evil. It's just chaotic in nature. Some survive, some don't. Those that do see it as a blessing. Those don't see it as a curse. Ultimately, the universe just gives and takes. No bias, no prejudice.
I can't even remember the last time the universe blessed me with anything I really cared about. just all curses for a wanderer like me.
I might have said the same if you had asked me a month ago. But after beating you, although there were some rough moments, I at least now starting to see some purpose. And I take that as a blessing.
I suppose if I'm bound to be unhappy, I might as well try to make things better for people who live here. Maybe the spirits will look upon my deeds and offer some sort of redemption. But I doubt that. All I can do is try, right? I stretch as I finish my drink and slam the tankard on the table. Thank you.
Well, I hope you find that.
I hope you have a good plan for tomorrow. If you need any help, I'm here. I might not know much about strategy, but I know a lot about battle.
That I can tell for sure. If I have any questions, I'll come find you, Finn.
I nod. I'm still sitting at the bar. I'll take the second watch when Saskia's finished.
Okay. So, as the three of you drink, tinker, and contemplate into the night, as it's getting dark, evening takes hold. Is there anything anyone would like to do particularly tonight besides keeping watch? Or is everyone kind of settling into their night routine?
I just have something small I would want to do while
On watch.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's the weather like?
Let me check my handy dandy weather generator.
Weather generator. I'm more so looking for temperature.
I'd get temperature's part of it. Forecast for Billowgrass in the region of Reykjavik.
On the evening of the 17th of Maravala.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Mine finally fell asleep.
There we go. Let's see. It is very nice out, actually. There's a gentle breeze that has little or no effect on you other than kind of moving through your bones in that way. That can be somewhat nice. It's warmer than normal, but not super warm. You're looking at like probably in the 40 to, I don't remember what we called them, 40 degrees or so. Between 40 and 50. It's a brisk autumn evening, basically.
Okay. Would there be like a blanket or something in the back of the cart? Just like.
I mean, if any of you have a blanket,
do it.
You can check. Some backgrounds have blankets, but if not, you don't have a blanket.
Nope.
Yeah, it's not super cold, but it is cold, and it is. Right. You're just in basically bare bones of this blanket. I guess you know what? There might be like kind of like a really rough blanket that you might use for like the horse that came with it. Like not your blanket, but like a really shaggy travel blanket that was in the store of the cart.
That's perfect. So what I'll do, I'll get outside. I'll rummage around in the back of the cart and I'll find that blanket and I'll take it and I'll go sit up on the front of the cart. And I'll sit on the driver's bench
put one knee up. I can't see it, but that's how I'm sitting right now. one leg down, one knee up, blanket around my shoulders, and kind of like my arm on my knee, and I'll just start like thinking about the day, and finally taking this moment to sit down and like pause. So we've just been going all day, and you know that feeling when like you've had a really long day and you're just exhausted and all you want to do is cry just because you're so tired. That's how I'm feeling right now. So, you know, the kind of just staring out and thinking about everything that happened today. The adrenaline is worn off by now and I'm exhausted, but I'll kind of just like start crying a little bit, just like thinking about, you know, killing that person, what an asshole Jacquet is, you know, just the whole that we might not stay and protect these vulnerable people, and it's just really, really weighing on me. And I'll just kind of like cry for a little bit and then just like adjust the blanket and keep an eye out with my new ponytail and my new ribbon that I love so much swaying in the breeze.
Okay. And it's for all that's plaguing your mind, it is a gentle evening. You're able to do all of this. Relax, keep an eye out until Fearn would eventually come to take your place so you can go to sleep. When Fearn comes, he is a little drunk.
With my constitution, Sean, it's gonna take more than a few beers.
I mean, you're drinking for like 4 hours straight, so imagine you're a little tipsy at least. But
Fearn, I think I hear you coming, but I can't see you.
Surprise!
Oh, there you are. Oof. God, you smell like my crew. Are you sure you're fit to watch right now?
Never fitter. I
don't
work
mind.
well like this.
I don't mind taking a second one.
You want?
Sass, you are so tired. You're the only person who didn't get a long rest in the last round of rests.
Yep.
Nonsense. We're already splitting the party's watch between just the two of us. You gotta get your rest.
Are you sure? You sure you're up for it?
I'm up for anything. Anytime.
Not staying, apparently. Good night. And I'll just go.
Yep.
I think I slept in the car, right?
You did, but there is room. There is enough room for you to go upstairs.
All right.
All right. So you all would find your rest in some way.
One thing.
Septimus? Yep, go for it.
Yes, there's one thing I want to do before the end of the night.
Sure.
If possible, Septimus would likely go upstairs to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But would like to discreetly knock on Jacquet's door.
Ooh.
Jacquet, a little knocky knock comes at your door.
Robespierre answers the door.
Yeah, actually, probably. You just hear,
How can I help you?
and then the door just opens, and you see Jacquet is like laying on the bed, not looking at you, and he goes, "What do you want?"
May I come in?
And he does, flops over to look at you, and he's like, "Yeah." And he gets up as he like gestures for you to come in. He's only wearing like trousers, no shirt on, and you just see he's got like these chains and jewels, like necklaces on, just kind of tangled, and he looks. That's pretty bad. His whiskers are all matted. His hair's all, one ear is kind of like sticking down a little before he like fluffs it. It pops back up. He goes, "What? What do you want, Septimus? Sleeping."
By the ruffle in your fur, I can see that. I don't plan on being here too long. I just wanted to let you know I think I have a plan. I think I have something that could work.
Are you fucking kidding me? You woke me up to tell me you have a plan. It's gonna wait until morning? Do you remember when Fionn woke us up and we were all pretty pissed off the other day?
Yes, I do. But I'm telling you this because I'm not sure if I'm totally convinced of staying.
What do you want me to do, Septimus? Tell you to stay?
I
Tell
want
you that you...
I
Oh,
want something from you.
Oh, okay. Please enter my office. Let's talk. And as if you actually like enter, the door does close behind you, and then a lantern gets turned on. As Jacquette is like somehow like slipped from the bedside into like one of the chairs, and he's just like,
And depending on what the group wants, we can cut it here, and I could just tell Stefan, and he can do it one way or the other.
Ooh, do that, do
You
that,
looking?
do
You
that.
looking? You looking to do a little sneaky sneak? A little keep it from the rest of the group. I'm okay with that. If they
Yeah, do it.
But
It's like, I know the way you are. And I know you may not fulfill this promise, but if you don't, then maybe my services here are no longer needed. And we can just cut there. And I can just
Absolutely.
ask Jacquette.
Yeah, two of you can confide elsewhere about what this discussion was. So, Jacquette and Septimus have a private conversation in the evening, but then I imagine at some point part to rest for the night, and all of you wake up the next morning fairly early because you were all quite exhausted and you went to bed fairly much earlier than you usually do. Really, you got a full night's sleep and everyone's kind of up around, like early morning. Like the early risers might even be up at 6. The late risers might be up at, 7 or 8 or even 9, but early enough. You can all gather downstairs.
Sean,
Mhm.
as a preparation for the next morning,
Yes.
in addition to spells, so I've been cheating, and you know this too. I know me. It's like my
Our
infusions.
resident anti-cheating officer.
Right. I have been cheating. You give me the rule book, I'm gonna rewrite some rules. No, I for some I've had the infusions in my list. It's
Mhm.
just because whatever.
it's okay.
But when I
Alex.
infuse my
It's
items,
okay.
I know. I know it's okay. I'm supposed to do it in the mornings after I finish a long
I
rest.
see.
So I'm going to use one to make a homunculus, and it's
Mhm.
just going to be a little robotic bird.
Ooh.
And so there's going to be an image of Bruce waking up in the morning, and he's going to try out his bird, and he's going to like throw it up in the air. And it's just going to fly into the wall and then fall down. And he's like, "Ah, damn it!"
little metal wings, boom, boom, right
Yeah.
into the wall, falls to the ground like a bird hitting a glass window.
And then every so often I'll like look over at Septimus, who's still sleeping, just making sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I just want to paint that image, and
I love that image. I love that image. Like Septimus, you even like maybe like by like you wake up a little bit like as you hear just sort of just thump against the wall.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. And Bruce will just pick up a really weird looking flapping metal contraption.
Yeah, it almost looks like a bird, but not quite.
But not quite. Not quite.
Certain aspects are off based on the
Yeah.
missing bones from the skeleton Bruce found.
Almost has every component.
but no, you all can gather in the main area at the bar or one of the tables the next morning.
Did we level up?
I was gonna say it if you didn't. I was holding my tongue for a while.
Hey, chat, get in chat. Tell the DM he should level us up before the big fight.
No.
Nah.
That's fair. Do we all get +1 magic items?
Yeah.
No.
Do we get a box of never-ending shouts that when you open the box it just goes, and then you close it and it stops?
Maybe.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm just trying to give Mike some time to tell me what his plan is.
That's no problem. If you would like to end there so you have time to actually coordinate that stuff, we can. And pick up next week. Clay's like, I want to keep playing.
As do I.
If we end now, we'll technically end on time for the first time.
Well, we started late, so
That's
We
true.
always start
That's true.
late.
We did start late. Yeah. So, what we can do is give you a few seconds to coordinate. I mean, truthfully, what we could do is we could literally just go to a quick break, like a 5-minute break, and come back and finish.
No, I think we got this. It's not as
you're
involved at
Okay.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I could small talk.
But as far as a full plan, I mean, like that could definitely be next session. But I got the
No.
basics
Yeah.
of the plan.
I wasn't expecting to go any like into the actual plan today. But I just want to make sure you guys were we could keep going for a little bit, or does this stop us from keep going?
No.
Okay. All right. So then, yes, you are all there in the morning as you each would join together at the table. As Alicia is cooking breakfast for whoever would like some.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Anything
Bruce?
interesting on your...
Good morning. Oh no, just eggs. Great.
Eggs all around. She goes into the back to go pick up a massive bowl of scrambled eggs.
Yum.
I saw you hard at work, Septimus. How was last night's planning?
I think I came up with something pretty solid. I can.
Let's hear it.
Well, first off, yes, I think I'm agreeing to stay.
Really?
But the basis of my plan would be we have the advantage of being in town here. We should use it as well as possible. We know the area, and we know that they're going to be coming for us. I suggest that we move everyone that's around here. Tell them to... Well, we'll be addressing them today. There must be somewhere where they can all... a safe house of some sorts outside of town so they're not caught in any of the crossfire. And then we do our preparations. Because I'm sure they'll come for us. But we need to act quickly.
All right.
Well, the only thing I can think of as far as like a safe house is where we were yesterday, the little barn at the farmhouse.
I think the cow technically has claim to that.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean, it'll be temporarily.
I mean, Tora's here. She's gonna have to run with them too, so she could just.
Well, the
Or even if they
ornamencer did tell us that he would come to our meeting. Maybe we just have the meeting here at the tavern and tell everybody if they want to be safe to stay here. Have them boarded up. and we will, we could plan in some of the other parts of
I
town.
suppose, yes, I suppose the tavern here is large enough to hold, you said, 12 or so different families temporarily.
I think we should take the fight out of town, though. We don't want to destroy it. I heard
I don't know
some
how much
fuckers
damage you think
across
we're
the
going to be
continent
going
were
to be
known for that.
doing. I don't know what sort of damage you think we're capable of.
Well, yeah, we don't have any more of those water
No,
mines.
but
But I'm saying at least here we can set up debris, lead them through alleyways. That's how we'll be setting up our traps.
Jaquette
Some of
kind of
those.
looks outside one of the windows and goes, I don't know what alleyways you're talking about, Septimus.
I suppose you're right.
It's not a bad idea, though. If we can lead them into a close quarters combat, it's much more advantageous than being out in the fields. Maybe we can have some way of... The only worry is that they might trap us in there. So we would need some way to... We would need multiple escape plans.
Or
take it out to the road.
Or, kind of thinking, there was that forest that was behind the Ordnancer's place. What if we set up shop in there? We set up all of our traps, all of our plannings. We scope it out, get a good layer of the groundwork, and then we stay in town here until they approach, act like we're surprised, and then flee to the forest. They'll come after us, and that way we have the advantage to get the surprise on them.
Mm.
We'll provide cover. They'll be away from everyone's homes. No damage.
We'll
And
take
the people would stay safe.
We take the carriage to the forest, leave the horse to quickly escape there. I like it.
See? You're a chess master.
Well, we gotta make sure we get checkmate first before you start calling him that.
Didn't
See,
fucking
I know
ask you.
something about chess too, so.
All right. Well,
I can live with that plan.
if we're okay with that, then I guess we'll wait for everyone. Bruce?
Yeah, how much time do you think we'll have?
Probably like an hour or two. Up to the DM. I told them morning. For some people need to travel.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure we'll start seeing it populate.
We don't all have to be here for the meeting.
I mean, again, the meeting, and again, what we'll be telling everybody is essentially the information that we found out, that we know it's linked to their spiritual protectors. If anybody shows immediate signs of that, they should let us know, as that should be the first thing to try to deal with and remove from. And then also that we have decided to stay and help fight. And if there's any preparations or things that anybody can provide to us, be appreciated. And I'm sure they'd be eager to do so, knowing that we'll be staying now.
It's brilliant.
all right.
Well, okay, you don't need to hype him up that much.
Well,
Well done, Septimus. Fuck off, Jaquette.
yeah, depending on what materials we can use here that are given to us, depends on them, or depends on what traps we can make. Is what I'm trying to get at. Running low on material, and I mean, I guess we could make more traps like we did before, but are we looking for lethal or
No,
non-lethal?
just enough to injure.
Well,
Scare him off.
I don't know.
Bjorn puts his arm on Bruce's shoulder, like friendly, and says, "This time I'll help you set up the traps. I don't think I'm going to be welcome at this meeting anyway, the way things went with the Ornamencer. And I'll find a good spot. I'll help you find a good spot in the forest to set up our ambush.
All right, that sounds good. Fear.
Maybe we can use some wood or something I could chop out back."
Perfect. We'll need some of that.
I look to everyone and say, I suppose we should get going quickly. Get started. We don't know when the bandits plan to arrive, but I'd rather be prepared than, early. Anybody opposed to this?
I personally would also vote for the same. Just it takes time to set up larger traps. Also, another note, just to get on the Ornamencer's positive side, I think somebody should go get that kite and bring it back to him.
Yes,
And
somebody should.
Jacquette's just looking at everyone with like kind of a dumb face, a dumb look on his face, just like, yeah, that sounds like a good thing, right?
Yeah, build that reputation back up, especially after we kind of slapped him.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
All right.
Why are you all looking at me?
Because you're the one that fucking threw it in the well. You're the one that's gonna go get it.
I guess it just comes down to me again to save this party's face. All right, fine, I'll do it. If you're on your hands and knees begging me, okay.
I mean, if you need a rope or anything, just let us know. You know, I assume you're very capable and dexterous.
Oh, I'm more than capable. In fact, some would say I'm... what's the word for more than capable?
You're such a god.
An
Jeffrey.
expert.
You're just
Oh,
Bruce,
Oh.
Don't do
no,
that.
See?
No, he
See?
doesn't-
Yeah.
no.
this is what I deserve!
Yes,
you
Loveless,
so
the
deserve
Wellmaster.
it. Yeah.
Everybody
Oh.
hail.
Oh, yes. And Jacquette, like, in glowing, without another word, just, like, kind of, continues to do weird things and walks out without
Why
another
the
word.
fuck would you stroke his ego?
Oh, so that he goes do it. It's really as simple as that.
Right.
I give Bruce a high five.
Uh,
I like to imagine
Fear-
like your hand is up for a while until Bruce notices it.
Yeah,
Don't make me laugh.
Before Fearn leaves, he goes to Septimus and says, "Can I take Sal to carry the cart? Leave the horse behind for your escape."
Well, again, I think we have some time to prep. But sure.
And then as I say that, I lean in and I say, "What made you change your mind about staying?"
Purpose, I suppose. What's my purpose if I don't help now?
Purpose can be found in a lot of ways. I'm glad you picked a noble one. And I tap him on the shoulder as I go outside.
Okay. While you all begin to make preparations, spread out across the town, while you have some time before the meeting, you would, Alicia would let you know that the people have started to gather, and you'll probably have, maybe take an hour for everyone to gather or so. Septimus, you have Fearin gives you this nice last pat before walking out as you're kind of sitting alone in the tavern area here as everyone is moving about to do their business. Jacquette outside, I imagine, leaning over this well, looking in, thinking like, what's the best way to do this? I almost imagine Sass going out to watch and mock him. While he does that, Bruce and Fearn begin kind of scanning the area for what they need to do. Everything now falls on you, Septimus. And that's where we'll end tonight.
Woo.
No pressure. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking around with us for this session of Adrift in Aldhalor as our heroes plot to take care of the bandits before heading back to Hyven. Next session will be an interesting one as they talk to the townsfolk, set up their final plan, and await the arrival of the bandits as they presumably and most likely come for them. Alrighty, so please join us again for Adrift in Aldhalor next Monday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, or if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that bell, whatever, all that weird stuff people say. Comment, let us know what you like about the show. It really actually does do a lot of help for YouTube's algorithms. And yeah, we're going to send a raid on over to someone now in the community, but thank you for joining us. Please stick around for that raid. Sean Enchanted Power Hour on Sunday. I'm going to try to stream this Wednesday because I also realized that since you're doing kind of like some battle here in town potentially, that I might want to paint some of the Dwarven Forge I have that is town buildings that has been sitting in my primed in my workshop here. I also should paint Bruce. Or I'm sorry, Fiernan and Sass. They're stuck in there. They're stuck in their black and white era. All right, folks. We'll see you all soon in Paradise. Have a lovely wherever you are. Good night.